Prison was the right place at the right time.
Yeah, prison saved my life.
Back when we had books like True to the Game by Terry Woods, The Coldest Winter Ever, Sister Soldier, there was Be More Careful by Shannon Holmes.
I go get a dictionary, start writing this book. I had the audacity to have somebody look at it. It was a couple things I never questioned in my life, and what he told me was one of them. I went to commissary, got a dictionary thesaurus, and I never looked back. So the guys in the prison yard, they told me, they said, yo, we're gonna have a book signing in the prison yard. You're gonna sign your books over that garbage, and we're gonna throw it in this garbage. What I'm gonna be is not up to you or me, it's up to my God and what I believe in. And I went back, and I worked, I locked in, and I wrote my book.
How long did it take you?
Like 9 months, like the birth of a baby. I went to sleep with headaches. How I'm gonna get her out of this situation realistically? So she gave me a $10,000 event.
Everybody in the jail is reading your book.
Everybody in jail is reading my book. Cause it was dudes in jail, man, that could literally write circles around me.
Wow.
But when it was all said and done, I was that guy.
What's good? My name is Chris Styles. It's Trappin Anonymous. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody that's been tapping in, keeping the movement moving. I'm just so excited to be here with my next guest. Just so excited to be bringing y'all these gems in these episodes. Please don't hesitate. DM me. I DM you back. Write me. I'll rate you back. Please rate Trappin Anonymous on that podcast 5 stars. Give us a nice comment. Make sure you follow Breakbeat Media. Make sure you follow Trappin Anonymous. Make sure you follow Chris Styles. Do remember that the stories that you hear do not necessarily reflect real life. They're here to entertain, educate, just keep your little homie off the streets. It's only entertainment. Please don't get me indicted. My name is Chris Styles. If you want this merch, please hit me up. Let's get it. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
How you feeling?
I'm good.
How does a man go from prison to a #1 selling book?
I mean, God, it's probably the only way you can explain it. I was at the right place at the right time. Like, you know, I worked, but
Prison was the right place at the right time.
yeah, prison saved my life.
I speak to a lot of people, and one of the things that I hear them say is prison is a form of rehabilitation if you let it. You felt like you was rehabilitated in prison.
I can't really say that. I mean, because you go through the programs, you start playing the game. It's a game. How am I gonna get out of here? So I play the game to get out of there. I'll go to the program, do what they tell me to do, and they let me out. Once I figured that part out, it was just a revolving door for me.
How long were you in prison for?
11 years, 2 3s and a 5.
This is just something you was
Back and forth, in and out.
Why?
Hustling. That was my Achilles heel, or the black man's Achilles heel. Back then, you know, I grew up a time, not when the scamming, this is when drugs were more prevalent. The scammers, you know, they got the streets messed up right now. They hit a button, 20,000. They got 20,000 the next day. Like, you really had to stand on the block to get that kind of money.
Were you getting that kind of money?
I was with people that was getting more than that kind of money, though. You know what I mean, myself. But it's a pecking order. It's a chain to that success, man. And you know, it's just like, you know, the big people don't want you to get so big, and you got to be in the right place at the right time too.
The height of your street success, what was the average day? How much was you making?
Man, I can't say that we was, at the height of my success, I was in Washington, D.C. I don't know. I seen a lot of money go through my hands coming through the spot. Like, we might have seen 10,000 that night. You know what I'm saying? 15,000 on the first or something like that. But was that mine? No. No, it was a team. So the bread was being broken from him to me to the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so, but it was enough to keep hustling.
Oh yeah. There was money in the streets back then. We talking about the 80s.
This was the 80s.
Yeah, we talking about the 80s, early 90s. The money now is only pizza and sneaker money in the street right now.
Going to jail didn't bother you?
They say only 2 things stop you, prevent you from doing something. Hell, your spiritual belief, or your fear of jail. And if you can get past those 2 things, you can do anything. So once you go to jail the first time, you know what it's heading for. So you're not scared no more. That fear is gone.
Why was never getting a job and taking that route? Why was that never for you?
It's funny because I was never raised like that. So I come from a middle class family. You know, my father worked transit, my mother worked for the city. Actually, I had a job for the city, but I never got to get it because when I turned 19, I was in a state correctional facility. So my mother, when I called home, my mother said, "Yo, the transit just called here for you." So my father had my life all mapped out. And I could still hear the pain in her voice, like, transit just called it. Because I took the test when I was 16, passed it. So they just go down the list. Bloop, 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 bloop. From the high scores to the bottom who's there, and scratch you off the list. So you know, I was never supposed to be hustling. But it was something, you know, I grew up in the era of a pandemic, not a pandemic, but an epidemic, which was crack cocaine. And we had never seen nothing like that before, unless we got to go back to the 60s and heroin. So when that hit, it was just, you was just seeing dudes getting rich overnight. Like, it was nothing like it. I've never seen nothing since like it.
Who were some of the legends on the street that you brushed shoulders with or just got to see and just admire?
I mean, we all went to Harlem because if you're a Bronx hustler, you're gonna go to Harlem and see the rich porters and the Alpos, and you know, you see these people live and how people flock to them and stuff like that. So we all been to Harlem and at the rooftop, the rink, Willie's Burgers.
You saw them.
Yeah, they're my age. They're in my age group. Yeah.
And what was it like, sort of watching them sort of navigate the streets?
It was just a beautiful time in the street. Everybody wanted to get money. Wow. Everybody, it was people that was robbing. It was just a beautiful time in the street at that time, man. It was like, you always had that carrot dangling over your head like, that could be me.
That could be me.
Yeah, so that's what you never thought. You never thought about the flip side. You could also be dead. We don't think about that.
We always think about how it works out.
So, you know, like I always said, man, the streets took better men than me. So what was I thinking about? You know what I'm saying? That's how warped your mind becomes. You're always trying to get that next run, that last run, not thinking it could be your last run.
You're a slick talker, dog. They say, the most intelligent, brightest, smoothest cats sitting in jail.
Yeah. Some of the smartest people I ever met in my life are in prison. They just choose to use their wits for criminal pursuits. You know, some of the most highly intelligent dudes, man. They say prison is the second highest institute of learning on the face of this earth, outside of college.
I can see that.
It is some beautiful minds in it, and you know, they don't do nothing with it. They all form for criminality. You know, they give them the energy and effort for that.
When did you feel like, okay, I could be a writer?
I met a kid in jail who just changed my life. Just talking to him. He had written 3 books, and everybody in the jail was talking about him. So it goes a little bit deeper for me and him. I was with him on the street. Our paths crossed on the street. But he was probably like 14 or 16 at the time.
Writing 3 books?
No. Okay. On the streets.
Oh, on the streets, gotcha.
I didn't see him till like maybe 4 years later. His physical appearance had changed. And we started talking. We're like, yo, where you from? Blah, blah. I'm like, Divine? He's like, yeah. Yo, Sean, we be kicking it and stuff like that. So I'm like, damn. And he had got shot right in front of my face. And everybody thought it was me because we had the same rain jacket on.
How did that happen?
Oh, it was a New York beef. We was out of town, and you know, a lot of dudes, they never been out of town. They never made an out of town move. So, you know, when you come into town, you know, they want to fuck all the girls. They want to get all the money, leave a man no recourse but to kill you. But they would just start, you know, they were just a little bit younger. So I knew to stay away from them. I knew that association breeds similarity. So with that being said, did everybody already think that everybody from New York know each other? Just because you see me talking to them, I don't know them. They're like, you know LL Cool J? No. You know how big New York is? So I would just stay shy away from them dudes. Yo, what up, from a distance? I'm trying to get money with the people who live in the town, break bread with them. That was but they were trying to stand out, not fit in. And that's why. And it was a shootout that night. I came back, it was a shootout, and a good dude got hit. And when a good dude gets hit in a shootout, it galvanizes people that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Nothing to do with the drug crane. They're like, nah, these New York niggas gotta go now. They hit such and such. And that's what it became. So I stepped back in. The next day I stepped back in. He's like, yo, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what? Yo, such and such got shot. I'm like, what? Yo, him of all people? I knew it wasn't a good look. So as we walk past the alley, I see a bunch of dudes huddled up. I go like, yo, what up? They give me the Any other time, like, yo, what's up, blah, blah, blah. That just sent a little chill down my soul. I said, yo, that don't, I said to him, I said, yo, that ain't, yo, that shit, yo, niggas is up to something. It's like we caught them scheming, right? And by the time we got to the next alleyway open, dude came around the back of the house and was like, yo, what's up, nigga? I'm like,
Talking to you.
he was talking, I don't know who he was talking to. He was pointing the gun at both of us.
Right.
We was standing right next to each other.
Right. And he got hit.
He took off. Boom, pop, pop. After that, I sped off in the house.
And this doesn't make you want to get off the streets?
Nah, because that wasn't, it wasn't for me. I was always a good dude wherever I was at.
It was for him?
Yes, for him.
Because of the person that got hit?
His involvement with the shooting the night before.
Got you. Okay. You see this dude in jail. He sees you. He writes 3 books, and his whole appearance has changed.
Yeah.
So it's like you're talking to a completely different person.
Yeah, but we know each other. So I'm like, yo, Devon, Bob, oh, yo, Sean. So we talking and meet the guy, talk to him, and I just think of myself, a thought runs through my head. I'm like, I'm smarter than this dude. I lived longer, I done more things, and I saw more things. And plus, when I ran the streets with dudes not my age. I ran the streets with 8 to 10 years my peers.
So your mind
was a little bit different. Like,
right.
I was exposed to things that maybe they wasn't exposed to. This wasn't my first move.
Right.
This was my second out-of-town move, or my third out-of-town move by that time.
Right.
So I knew how to move.
Right.
They was just like young kids and doing what they wanted. It was like being at camp for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And prison never bothered you?
Yeah, it had its moments, man. You know what I'm saying? I heard people say, yo, you pretty happy to be here. I'm like, nah, I could be as worst places I could be. So that effect, like my father always told me, he said, yo, I can come see you in jail. I can't come see you in the graveyard.
Okay. So you're like, I could do this. So you get a pen and a paper and you start writing.
Yeah, actually, I go get a legal pad. I go get a dictionary. Start writing this book.
You go to the law library.
I know. I don't go to the law library. I go to the library. I get a book about writing books. I want to know the rules before I break them, because writing is a structure. You're free to be yourself within that structure. It's just like every house. They all built with the foundation. You know what I'm saying? And carpet and all that electricity is wires and stuff like that. So that's how it all starts, from the foundation. So I wanted to understand about writing. So I read about writing. I wanted to know, I knew I didn't write the King's language. So I had to figure out who I was speaking to. I knew my audience, who my audience would be. And my favorite book was Donald Goines, Black Girl Lost. So I said to myself, I'm gonna write a year 99, 98, Black Girl Lost, how I see it. Because, you know, I think if you've been hustling long enough, you've always seen that one girl, you're like, damn, that gives you pause.
Yep.
And be like, damn, what you doing out here?
Yeah.
Things start running through your mind. I could take her home. I could clean her up. Nobody gonna know. And that chick turned to me and she said, you gonna sell me this shit or what? I'm like, yo, okay. All that goes out the window. Because it's all about a sale. And you start realizing that what you're really out here for. But if you've been in the game long enough, you've seen that one chick that's bad. And she ain't hit rock bottom yet. And you trying to see what's up.
She's not someone you bring home to mama.
Nah, nobody, but you willing to.
So you get this pen and your pad.
I get the pen and the pad, and I start writing the story the hard way. Going through the motions, boiling up paper. So I had the audacity to show somebody. Wasn't ready yet. The food wasn't ready. I had the audacity to have somebody look at it. It was this other kid in jail. His name was Ohio. So I had him look at the book. And he says to me, he said, you need to get a dictionary and a thesaurus. It was a couple things I never questioned in my life. And what he told me was one of them. I understood what he was saying clearly. I went to commissary, got a dictionary, thesaurus, and I never looked back. So it was different versions of the book. So I was writing and, the. So, you know, just, I didn't know, I would just, writing is like an exercise, especially when you never did it before.
Yep.
So it wasn't like I was dreaming about this all my life. I kind of fell into it. It chose me. It came to me at the most loneliest time of my life. Nobody was writing me, man. I just thought the world forgot about me. All the girls you did have when you're on the street, it's like they forget about you. They forget about the good things you do. They move on to somebody else. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna show y'all. So I had a little motivation. So I write the book. I let my man read it, and we just talking philosophy. I never read his books because I didn't want to be the second him. I wanted to be the first me. So me and him would just talk books and book writing philosophy. He read my work, but I never read his because I thought as a new writer I would be informative and I would be the second him. So
You and Devon.
me and Devon. So he reads my book and he discovered the big mistake that I made. He said, "Yo, where this character Black come from?" I brought him in like chapter 30 or maybe. He said, "Nah, you gotta introduce him even before." So I read something in the writing book that said absenteeism when they have another character talk about the character. So when they see him, it's like, oh, this the dude Joe was talking about. So that's what I went and did, and I overcome that mistake. But then I started letting people read it. So there was one kid, not too many people. So the guys in the prison yard, they told me, they said it kind of crushed me. They said, "Joe, we're gonna have a book signing in the prison yard. You're gonna sign your books over that garbage, and we're gonna throw it in this garbage."
Oh, shit.
Oh, snap. Like, well, my thing was this, like, that shit hurt me, that shit crushed me. But I laughed to keep from crying. I could have fought them. But I'd have been in my feelings. And they say, as they say in jail, we deal with men, not with feelings. So I let it slide, but I internalized that. I said, "I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be. What I'm gonna be is not up to you or me. It's up to my God and what I believe in." And I went back and I locked in and I wrote my book.
How long did it take you?
Like 9 months, like the birth of a baby.
You said you got headaches.
Yeah, headaches. I went to sleep with headaches. How I'm going to get her out of this situation realistically. It's not just getting a character out of the situation just to get for the sake of getting out of the situation. No, you want to get out of there realistically. You want your readers to relate to you. Because if you're anything like me, I would discard your whole book for the first mistake you make. I'm done. I'm done with you.
Yeah,
I'm done with you. So that was it for me, pretty much. And it was this one kid that used to go to the library with me. We wasn't really friends, but we were friendly. Because in jail, you don't really have friends. Have associations. You know what I'm saying? Alliances and allegiance. You build alliances and allegiance, just like survival. So I said, yo, Sheed, I want you to read this book I wrote. He said, yo, bring it down to my cell. Go down the tier, bring it before we lock in. Bring it to the next morning. Doors hit for breakfast. He come running up to me. He's excited. He said, this is the most important thing somebody ever said to me at that time. He said, yo, Shannon, you can get a couple of dollars with this. I said, huh? He thinks this about me and he's not my friend. Now, mind you, I was never writing to get published. I was writing to kill some time. And from that,
no, you were writing because you thought you was better than Devon. No, I'm fucking with you.
I would never know that.
Yeah. So you writing to kill some time and somebody telling you,
you can get a couple dollars. The light bulb goes off in my head. Ching, ching, ching. So immediately, I start writing publishing houses. What you gonna tell me, no? The answer is already no if I don't ask. But if I ask, the answer might be yes. Now watch this older inmate take a shot in the dark. He said, sometimes you gotta take a shot in the dark. You might hit something. Now his shot in the dark was a legal technicality and he went home a free man. Wow. Never saw him again.
Just because he tried.
And this was my shot in the dark, just writing somebody. So my man from Canarsie, Brooklyn, my man C had the Feds magazine before they knew what it was, before they could ban him and stuff. This is early in the game, right? He had the Fed magazine. Shout out to Twan, you know what I'm saying, Antoine Clark. So he had the Fed magazine, and it had Terry Woods' mailing address in there, P.O. Box.
And who was Terry Woods?
Terry Woods, who wrote True to the Game. So I wrote to her. I had 20 free envelopes a month. I'm not using them. I ain't got nobody else to write. I'm writing companies.
Wow.
And to my surprise, she writes me back.
Are you telling them you're in prison?
Huh?
You're telling them you're
She can see by the address and state ID number where I'm at. State correctional institution.
And then you sending it with the book?
No, I didn't send it out. I'm not that stupid.
You just saying.
I sent it a filler. See who's going to write back. Now they telling me, bigger companies like, yo, we don't accept unsolicited manuscripts. Like, could you imagine how many people actually go to school for writing? How many people dream about this? And here was, I fell into it? Okay. So I sent her the book. She like, yo, send me a self-addressed envelope with the book. I said, yo, nah, I ain't gonna do that. This book is going one way from me to you. Cause I already knew I had it because the jails told me.
Wow.
Steel sharpens steels. And they would have loved nothing more than to tear me down. And when they couldn't, I knew I was ready to fly.
It was undeniable.
Yeah, it was just, this is like, you can't stop. This is not my plan.
Streets love me.
Yeah. So once that happened, it was just the perfect storm. Like, that's what I say. It's sometimes not who you know, it ain't what you know, it's timing. And then I got out of jail.
Okay, so what did the letters say to her when you first wrote her?
Yo, but I basically described what the book was about.
Okay.
So that's called a synopsis. I wrote a synopsis in the cover.
Synopsis.
So, and then from that, she's going to figure out if she wants to read the book. So I must have did it very well written.
And then she...
Yeah, it wasn't like a lot of dudes in jail be like, oh, baby, I love you. What's up? Let me holler at you, blah, blah. I ain't do that. Now, she's a good-looking woman. Don't get me wrong. I was like, nah, you gonna fuck over there. I'm gonna fuck over here, but let's get this money right here. Because I did that in the drug game before. Fuck with a girl I wasn't supposed to fuck with. She got to work now. She want to call the police. All type of dumb shit. You know what I was when you met me. You know what I'm saying? So I said, nah, I didn't want to do that. And not to say that it did happen, but it was a possibility. We was in close proximity of each other. It could happen.
So you don't send her the book?
No, not at first. Not till she contacts me back. The mail comes under my cell. Then I sent it out.
Okay.
So by that time, I had already gave my father power of attorney.
Wow.
So my father actually signed my deal for me. And I probably got like about $2,500, $5,000 in jail while I was in jail.
Dollar.
So she gave me a $10,000 event. But she gave it to me in pieces. I got the first, I had commissary to the ceiling. Like, yo, you good, bro? What's up? You want something?
What you mean?
Yeah, right.
At this point, is your book circulating in the jail?
Yeah, I got copies.
Everybody in the jail is reading your book.
Everybody in jail is reading my book. I'm coming through the child hall. And he like, yo, that's that kid right there. I can see my peripheral, but I'm trying not to look at them. So I'm starting to get a little, you know, because it was dudes in jail, man. Like we said, they're more talented than me. That could literally write circles around me.
Wow.
But when it was all said and done, I was that guy.
Wow.
Because my desire. Them dudes thought they wanted it. Me, I had to have it.
You needed it.
And I went at it. I went at success like that every day, all day, locking in myself. When they was walking around the yard, telling the stories and playing basketball, lifting weights, I was writing my book. While they wanted to talk about writing books, I was writing my book. Yo, this is a dope concept. Yeah. But you're not writing it.
When she sends you that advance, how much more time do you have left in jail?
Coming home that year. So when I came home like about July or August. I came home August of 2000.
Okay. So how many months is that before?
A couple months, maybe 4 or 5 months.
Before you signed. So you signed in jail 4 or 5 months.
So she was, getting, the closer I was getting to the door, she's like, yo, we gotta get this done, because she knew what I had. She knew she couldn't let me come out here and find my way. If I found you in jail, imagine who I could find on the street. So we did the deal, but what was I gonna do? Turn it down? So, excuse me, the initial deal was a 5-year deal. And I turned to my man that I first had read the book. I'm like, yo, she want to sign me for 5 years. I don't know. Like, yo, that's a long time. He like, stupid, you just did 5 years. I said, you right. You right. And you see how people overthink things? But then when she came back, it was like a 1-book deal with an option. So I would be a free agent after that time period.
Oh, wow.
Only thing she could do is match the offer. And I actually let her in good faith. Negotiate with her in good faith.
Got you.
But the book took on a life of its own.
And it's the year 2000.
It's the year 2000. So it's Terry Woods and Sister Soldier, and then it would be Shannon Holmes.
How much did you come home to?
I didn't come home to the advance. I was still getting advance when I came home.
Oh, okay.
The book didn't hit shelves yet.
Oh, it didn't hit shelves yet?
No, it didn't hit shelves to that following February.
Okay, so it took about
A couple months.
8 months.
Yeah. Because she was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep being able to pay for your printing with True to the Game money. But little did we know, it took on a life of its own. So my first check from her was like $5,000, $5,500. And that was the lowest I ever got from her.
And this was in the year 2000.
Year 2001 now.
So at the height of the book's success, how much money was in your account?
100,000. I had 100,000 next year home from jail. But we had generated 1.5 gross revenue.
Break that down for the audience.
100,000 is me. I'm getting $1 a book. She's probably getting $4,000 to $5,000 a book, so that's 500,000. The 10 goes to the retailers. I ain't gonna say Barnes and Nobles type mom and pop stores. They get the most. They got the overhead.
Oh.
So really, me and her just got like 5, and she's probably giving me $1 out of her 5, and the rest is going to them because that's how. And then distributor gets $1. Cause all he's doing is really knowing who wants the book, knowing what bookstore to send it to. He's using his Rolodex, and he's not even shipping it to them. He's making them pay COD for the book.
That's right. Okay. How long from when you get this $100,000, what are you thinking? Do you still think about the drug game? Do you still think about hustling? Or do you find the new drug, the new hustle in these books?
Yeah, you still got dudes. Dudes is like, yo, why you driving this? You could be driving that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we could flip this money.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
like, no, I got the name now. The dude in the back is now in the forefront. I got the name. I know what's gonna happen if this go left. I got 3 felonies, dogs. I know where I'm going. They put me underneath the jail, dog. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. So whenever we hustle, we learned what we were doing. And if you wasn't trying to be a man, then what were you trying to be if you was in the street? You want to be a worker for, I went from holding work or for stashing the work to holding the work to busting sales to get my own work. That's the natural progression of things. So immediately, when I get in that game, I'm looking like, oh, this is the profit margin you're making? So I says one day, I said, yo, I want to start my own company. She like, why you want to do that for? I just looked, I just got quiet and turned my head, okay. So, that was kind of the cracks in our relationship. It was like Kobe and Shaq. She cast a big shadow. Like I was Kobe, the new kid on the block, and she was Shaq, the established star.
You wanted to win by yourself.
So no, I want to know, could I lead the league in scoring? Yeah. But I can never lead the league in scoring with her around because the ball goes into her first, and she's Shaq. Shaq think he can turn and take everybody, and he can, but he decides if he gonna kick it back out or not.
Right.
Think about it.
Of course.
So the ball was opportunities in this case. And depending if she was mad at me, then that's what it was. But, that's what it was back then. But we've since, but I gotta tell the truth. We have since patched up our ways, but I gotta tell the truth at that point in time. So there was a lot of frustration. She never worked with nobody. I'm dealing with a woman, I'm dealing with emotion, I'm dealing with feelings. And I used to be like, yo, I wish you was a dude so we could just go outside and fight. Either you gonna respect me, I'm gonna respect you. It was heated like that to the point that people thought that we were involved. Like, nah. But, if you give people the power to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you.
That's right.
Always remember that, bro. So she was feeding me. So I always say in publishing, don't nobody got nothing on me but Terry Woods. She cut my checks. I never cut hers. Anybody else, I did it. Like, I really did it. Like, I went from her to a 6-figure deal. You know what I'm saying? What she was mad about, but she told me I blew a deal for her. But I said, yo, you didn't.
6-figure deal with who?
Simon & Schuster, one of the leading publishers in the world, publishing giant.
And they published your second book?
Bad Girls.
Okay, but her deal with you was for 1 book.
Yeah.
So you fulfilled that.
Yeah.
And then you left after the 1 book.
I left after the 1 book deal.
And she was
pissed.
pissed.
I didn't, our relationships got, our lines got crossed. It was just a whole bunch of, we probably could have worked it out, but she feeling herself, I'm feeling myself. Like, I made you. I just didn't think that she saw any value in me. Like, I made you. I said, yo, you didn't even discover me. I discovered you. You didn't know I existed. I knew you existed. And that was my whole point, even with the book. I was able to take my time and craft the best book I could because the world didn't know I existed. The world didn't know I was coming. I knew I was coming. So I was able to sit back and think this book out. No pressure. I had failed at everything in my life. Drugs. If you go to jail, you fail. I don't care how much money you got. My man once told me, he said, Joe, if we get 100,000, you go to jail, we failed. So this whole thing was keeping everybody out of jail and let's get money. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was, man. Like me and her, our relationship just became, everybody got big headed. You getting money, everybody, you getting money, I'm getting money too.
Let's go back to that cell when you wrote the first book. Do you feel like prison helped you write that book? And being free is more of like a distraction. It's more, it's things going on. You in a cell, you have to sit down.
No,
You ain't got nothing to do.
I always say this about jail. In jail, you can be anything you want to be. You can be holier than thou. There is no temptations unless you like drugs or boys. If you're not dealing with those type of things, you have no temptation. So I didn't know. Like you said, I was disciplined. I disciplined myself enough to sit in that cell, write, you know. But now, here comes the test. I didn't think I was going to be a writer. So now, they offer me these couple 100,000. It's a job now, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Game ain't over. This is how I feed my family now.
You gotta fulfill.
Game over. Yeah, I got to fulfill that contract.
How much did they give you?
Like 300,000, 2-book deal. Wow. Yeah, Simon & Schuster.
What'd you do with that?
Bro. Bro. Anyway, so listen. So yeah, so they gave me the money and shit like that. So, you know, back to Terry, and she couldn't match that money. There's no way she could match that money. You know,
I mean, she could, but it would have been.
She's bankrupt her.
Yeah.
It was bankrupt her. So she signed off on me. I was getting agents calling my house. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, how you get my number? They're like, yo, you're on the phone book. Like, I became like, this is just when the internet's coming out. I had Penguin Putnam. I had all these people like wanting to know who I was. Nobody, you gotta think back then, when internet first, it was no pictures. They thought Terry was the boy and Shannon was the girl.
Oh.
So people were writing me fan letters. Oh, girl, I love that book. You should have did that shit. Yo, I would be in the car, me and my man, yo, read this. And we would just be cracking up like Low Down Dirty Shane. They were like, yo, you gonna get yours? You shouldn't have did that shit to that boy. Like, people really couldn't separate the book from the person. Like, yeah, surely my life is interwoven. When you write a book, your likes and dislikes come on paper. When you write a book, it's the ultimate challenge. It's you against yourself. I know when I want to go on. I know when I want to give up. So it's just, it's mental. It's 1,000% mental. And that's what I love it. It's the thing I love about it, the thing I hate about it, the same thing, but you gotta love it.
Okay. So I remember you said you went to Terry's house and the drapes cost more than the car.
So yeah. At one point in time, that woman had drapes, not curtains, drapes. That cost more than my car that I was driving.
Right. So now you signed this big deal. You got some money in your pocket. What do you do with the money?
I go get what I want to get. I go get the truck. I'm not a jewelry type of dude, though. I never want nobody to take my life, what I got around my neck or my hand and stuff like that. So
Well, the 90s and 80s was different times.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk out with a gold rope.
Why not?
chain. Back then?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you was ready.
I mean,
Ready for war and shit
people
like
was
that.
getting money, so it really wasn't nothing to see somebody like that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And for it to be really authentic and all that type of stuff. Like, you know, yeah, somebody might have it on them, but it's like you wasn't tucking your chain because you're going to the movies with your girl.
All right.
It wasn't really like that back then.
So you bought a truck.
Yeah, I bought a truck. I bought a couple little things, you know. You know, I think I moved down south. A couple things, you know what I'm saying? So, but they don't never give you that money all at once. Don't think they give it to you like a basketball player. Even basketball players they get it through a season, spread over the 82 games.
It's better for you because
Yeah, they give you you have to do the work. They'll have it built into your contract. When you turn in this book, you get another $50,000. When we do the edits, you get another 50. So you'll never be in Tahiti sipping martinis and haven't got their work. They haven't got their work. But I remember, you know, going to Simon & Schuster and seeing the production board. Going to my editors, Malika, Darryl, good, great. Like, I look up at her like my mother, beautiful black woman. And I saw my name, I saw Walter Mosley's name, and I saw Wendy Williams. And that was like my first moment of awe. Like, yo, what the fuck am I doing here? These are household names. Like Walter Mosley is a staple in the literary field for the black community. So I'm like, damn, like really, like I made it. I did it.
You going Wendy Williams?
Yeah. I'll go on Witty Williams.
How much that cost you?
We can't talk about that. It cost a couple dollars back then. It was some payola type stuff, under the table shit, but they'll never, you know, admit to it. She ain't on the air no more anyway, so you know what I'm saying? But you definitely gotta pay. And you don't even get on to that bread that's in somebody's hand.
Right.
Yeah, bring them in.
Right.
Like literally you at the club door, yeah.
Bring them in.
Yeah, but go to Wendy Williams and it's just like, it was at the height of me and homegirl's disagreement. I wouldn't call it a beef.
Okay.
I didn't look up on my back. I didn't, you know, look at my car on my back when I got in my car thinking about Terry Woods. I didn't think about how, it wasn't a beef, it was a verbal altercation, a spat, a squabble, perhaps, but never a beef. Never. I mean, beef is when you like, yeah, on site type stuff. I didn't think of it like that. You know, we had gone to civil court and shit got ugly just between us, man. It was just like, you got money, you know, and I just told her, I said, when coming for my money, when I finish playing with this money, I'm coming for my money. And I told her that, you know what I'm saying? So that was one of the unfortunate regrets that I have. I don't live with regrets because at one point in time, that's what I wanted. But if that relationship, being that she put me on, I didn't feel it was a disloyal act because the way I was being treated and the way I was being talked to. You can't do that with a man. A man is like, you know what I'm saying, at one point, especially a dude from the street, at one point in time, I was down to die for my respect. In jail, it's all about respect, bro. Like, I don't got a mark on me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about respect, bro. You got to give it to get it.
That's right.
Or somebody going to take it.
That's right. So, in retrospect, you would have sort of bit the bullet a little bit to maintain a relationship?
I would have, but I came fresh from these environments where you offend me, we fight.
I know.
And since I couldn't fight you, I couldn't make you respect me,
right.
I decided to leave. Yeah. If you didn't appreciate me, like Hove said they made Hove, okay, make another Hove.
So you went in civil court?
Yeah, I won.
How much?
I got the settlement, like $120.
But it was
lawyers took half of that.
But it was more about getting your respect.
Yeah, because you got to come at people with their respect. Killers respect other killers.
That's right.
You know, police respect police. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people who doing wrong, they should respect lawyers. Or people, you know, in the legal field and, you know, entertainment, they respect lawyers. So.
Okay, let's go back. What did the Wendy Williams show do for your career?
It boosted me up a lot, but it almost got me kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? So.
Kidnapped?
Yeah, almost got me kidnapped. So like with this being more careful thing, you know, I've been through a lot. I've been through civil court. I've been through all spectrums of it, the court and the street shit. You know what I'm saying? So somebody tried to line me up to get me kidnapped. And they didn't really know who I was until I went on that show. To them, it's like, oh, I didn't know you was that big. Yeah.
All they knew you was a woman.
Yeah. I mean, she knew who I was because she knew me. She was, you know, we was talking at one point in time.
Did the celebrity go to your head?
Of course it does. Man, I was flying chicks in and out. I had a hard time dealing with Frank. I'm gonna be honest. Fresh home from jail, you ain't sold your your wild oats, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course it did. I was married and single at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You was married?
Yeah.
For how long?
I like to say 8 years, something like that, but I was never really married. It was rocky from the get-go, you know what I'm saying?
You cheated the whole time?
Of course. Of course I did. You know, sometimes you get this misperception. You think life is about because you come up in this certain culture where it's successful. When you successful in having a lot of girls, it's the thing. It's the norm. But you come from the streets to this.
How does it even last 8 years?
How holding on? Because, you know, dudes, we cheat sloppy, bro. Notes in your pocket, messages, and stuff like that. We cheat sloppy. Women, when they check out, it's silently, man. You don't even know. They just gone. No sex. Start sleeping on the couch. the conversations, no conversation. She don't care when she coming in. And I can remember, I was like, yo, you want me to go? She was like, yeah. I said, whoa.
So
And I kind of learned something. I knew this before though. Never ever ask a question you really don't want to know the answer. I asked that question and I had to go.
you got kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids to her.
2 kids.
2 daughters. I had them back to back to the same person. I figured that would make my life less complicated.
Didn't. You like the discipline.
Nah, I mean, I don't have to. I had good kids, man. I ain't never have to beat them.
Well, no, I said you like the discipline as far as being committed to one woman.
Yeah, like, you know, when you young, you think it's one way, but it's actually, you want that one, man. You don't want many, you want one. If you can get one, but you got to get everything you need in one, because if it's going to set you up to go out, and then why even do it to her? Like, you know, as you mature, you understand this.
That's right.
But me coming home from jail, I didn't understand
How
that,
old were you?
bro. How long when I came from jail?
How old were you at that time?
30.
30 years old.
30 years old, bro. 30. Started late having my kids. And, you know, when I woke up in jail, my childhood peers were in their childbearing years, starting families and having mortgages, and I was in jail doing push-ups.
That's right.
And it just, when he took hold of me, I was like, damn. And this is when I said to myself, man, I'm gonna treat this book thing like I treat the streets. Give it the same energy and effort all day, everything, and see what happens. And it took me across the country.
What was the hardest part about marriage for you?
Being faithful, of course. I wasn't ready for marriage. I only got married because I had, I had daughters. If I had a boy, I probably would have never got married. He'd have to man up. But I come from marriage. So I feel like if you come from a broken home, it's easy for you to break a home. If marriage is all you saw, that's what you want to see. My brothers was married at the time. So it was like, this is what I thought I was supposed to do. But, and it was just, it's a lot of that. I take a blame for a lot of that was on me, because I didn't lead her right the way she needed to be led. And I was older than her, so I got to take the blame on a lot of stuff. But it comes down to you did this and you did that. You start pointing fingers. Like, you know what I'm saying? You did too much to go on, not enough to go back. That's what it be, man. It'd be too late when retrospect till you sitting in that room going through it.
Your mother, she goes from being so disappointed in you for not being home after you passed that city exam to now her son is a bestseller. How did that relationship change? Or how did the way she viewed you change?
My mother always supported me through all my bids. So, like, she was always the one person you can't count on as moms. Like, she can't divorce me, I can't divorce her. I'm always going to be my son. I'm always going to be her son, and she's always going to be my mother. Our relationship ain't really changed, but, my mother speaks a lot, so she was, bigging me up a lot. Of course she was. She was proud of me. Like, I can remember my uncle telling me, man, I thought you'd be the one to make it. Because I had the best chance out of all my brothers. Because there's 6 of us.
Wow.
So after everybody left the nest, it's me and my twin sister.
You have a twin sister?
I have a twin sister, Shannon and Shanta. That's why he thought the name. So the name. A lot of people don't know that. Only people who went to school with me, who live in my area, they know.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like literary outside of this, I got a twin sister.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So he said he thought that you.
Yeah, I would be the one to make it. And I said, yeah, I did. Just a whole lot of years later than anybody thought I would. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand, what's your definition of success? And your definition of success lies within you. It doesn't lie within anybody else.
How do you come up with these characters?
How do I come up with my characters, man? I think they got to resonate with you. Sometimes they be people close to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People you saw in your in walks of life. Like, people think that, you really make people up. Nah, you just seen these people. Like Black, for instance, the lead character, Be More Careful Black. So I'm sitting there, I'm writing, I'm in the day room, whatever, writing on the tear. And this kid, I looked up on the tear and I see this kid cursing this dude out. Blah, 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 like B-rating. I'm like, yo, like that's a no-no in jail. He's supposed to throw hands with him, but he's not. He's just letting this dude, he must be scared of him. And I'm like, yo, if he ever talked to me like that, we fighting. And I said, oh, his name was Black. I said, damn, that's it, I got it. Because my names for my characters, they have to resonate with me. I have to give them a first and a last name. I want them to be people. They're actual people to me. You know what I'm saying? I want to give them characteristics and traits of real people. And by doing so, you get closer to your reader. Like, oh, I know somebody just like that.
You ever confuse your books, the stories in your books with real life?
Never confusing with real. I lived them. So it's like,
It was real
I'm real close to like each of them. It's like a baby to me. You know what I'm saying? It was my babies before I had babies.
How many books did you write?
8.
8 books.
Yeah.
And what would you say the cumulative success of all of these books were?
What do you mean by that?
Well, how much money do you think you grossed for everything all together?
I don't know because, you know, when you do those deals, bro, I might not never see another dime because of the rate I have to recoup that return back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They might have gave it to me in dollars, but I might be getting 4 cents a book, 5. I'm not that low. I'm just saying, to say, you know what I'm saying? So you just never know. And these people are in the game for the long run. They're not in the game for the short run. When you ashes to ashes and dust to dust, when I'm ashes to ashes and dust to dust,
still in the game.
they'll still be putting my books out with a new cover to a new generation. So in a sense, like you know, you feel like you immortalize yourself. I put my mark on the footprint of the sand, bro. Like, people gonna know that Shannon Holmes lived long after I'm dead. They're gonna know I lived, breathed, and I had thoughts. You understand what I'm saying?
How did you think that way with the podcast?
I mean, because when you're in the street, you gotta come face to face with with your own mortality every time one of your friends die, every time one of your rivals die. It crosses your mind. So when I was in there, I was like, damn, I'm gonna die without no kids. You know what I'm saying? I was the last person in my family, my immediate family, to have kids. I didn't even know if I could have kids, to tell you the truth. Maybe I was messing with the wrong girls. It wasn't fertile enough. Who knows? Maybe I wasn't fertile enough for them. Who knows? But you're faced with that mortality, like, damn, dog, this how it's gonna end for me?
When did you drop out of school? Did you drop out?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, I dropped out of school. I dropped out of school in like 10th grade.
10th grade.
Dropped out of school to sell crack cocaine in Washington, D.C. And I was on the next school. The next day, my father was like, you gonna work, go to school, but you're not laying up in here. You gonna go. So my father was very, very old school, military man, disciplinarian. He put hands and feet on people. He worked transit. He's always worked transit in the 70s and 80s when it was real wild, and he's always fighting somebody. You know what I'm saying?
He's a big dude too?
Yeah, my father was a big guy. I remember my father smacked me so hard I thought he punched me. I was like trying to shake it off. I said, what'd I do? I knew what the fuck I did. Something in school. My father didn't play about school. Like, I always say like certain things was automatic ass whoopings. If that fucking teacher called home and said she wanted to have a meeting with my father and my father had to take off from work, that was automatic ass whooping. My father did not stop coming to school for me till I dropped out of school. But he was at every parent-teacher conference night. I'll go. And you know how that went after the next day when I came to school? My seat was now assigned to the front instead of the back. So it was that. So it was never like my parents' fault that I chose that life. I chose the whole different route on myself. Like I said, the crack game came. I was infatuated. I became subtly infatuated by the street. But at 8 years old, everybody thought I was going to the military. I come from a military family. My 2 brothers and my father, they all served in the military. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost expected of me to go to the military. But I knew at 8 years old that I wasn't going because I ain't like my father's orders. I couldn't understand nobody else yelling in my face and screaming in my face. So I knew I wasn't going to the military. I was dead set against it.
Did you fight a lot in prison?
Nah, I didn't really have too many fights, man. I didn't really have too many fights. I had a fight with this one kid, though. He was mad because, you know, you be talking like, you know such and such girl? Yeah, fucking her. Yeah, what's up? Well, he ain't like that. And so after that, he started throwing shade towards me. So one day I'm on the phone, he's like, you got like 5 minutes on the phone. I turned my head the other way, and then I just snuffed him. He was like still in my space. Boom! And we just started fighting. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have too many fights. I didn't hang with the tough guys. I hung with the funny dudes. I wanted to laugh my time away. You know, I'm kind of funny, so, you know, fake funny, I call myself. I'm situational funny. Nah, but I just met some dudes in prison that, you know, why hang around the tough guys? Like, I'm trying to go home, man. Niggas always trying to get into something or, you know, a flex. I never understood that prison mentality where you come to jail and you want to be somebody, dog. I want to be somebody in the world where it counts. I didn't understand that, oh, because my number's older than yours, that I'm, you know, I've been here or I run things. I didn't understand that mentality. Jail is, you know, jail just breeds a different kind of mentalities, and it's all type of, you got to navigate, you know, all these personalities. The dude up top of you, the dude to the left of you, the dude to the right of you, or he's not a morning person. You got to act like you don't even see this nigga at child. Because he ain't going to speak. Now, afternoon, this nigga's the friendliest motherfucker. You might, yo, what's up, nigga? Yeah, you see the game? So you guys gotta navigate all the, and it makes you like a psychologist type shit, bro. Yeah.
And you got real world experience.
Yeah. Dealing, and even in being close proximity, being in a cell with a person, bro. I was in a cell with white boys before. Never had a problem. Spanish dudes, never had a problem. Like, 'cause out of town, I don't know about New York, they probably don't house you like that. But out of town, they do.
And you're also not the smallest guy in the world, so
Yeah,
you probably don't.
But I wasn't always like that coming into jail. Like,
okay. All right. You got a movie coming out.
Yep. Movie coming out September 4th on Tubi. Be More Careful. It's an adaptation from the book.
So what can we expect?
You can expect a production. I experienced a lot putting that production together. And like I said, people will make your dreams seem so far off, and it's just so disheartening. People project their fears on you. But you can't do that till you do it. Now it's like, oh, well, people want to be a part of your situation when you didn't make me a part of yours.
Right.
Like, if you would have made it easy for me, I would have made it easy for you.
That's right.
You want to help somebody. I don't find it like, but us as a people, black people, we hoard information and we hide stuff. Bro, I'm not gonna let Cristal get this. I don't get that. Like, when I walked through those doors, when I got those deals, I was your help with the paperwork. Look at it. I'll give you a copy of my contract and let you see it, because it meant nothing to me. I didn't fear you being bigger than me. I always felt like, yo, I could help my man get on, then I'm that much more powerful. I got that much more leverage.
Yep.
They don't see it like that. They just like, nah, I can't let them. I never was on it like that, bro. Always try to think like, what if I wasn't me? What if I wasn't a pioneer? What if I wasn't walking through those doors first? How would I want, you know, so anybody that really comes to me for information, I give it to them, bro. If I could point you in the right direction, yo, go that way, yo. I'm gonna tell you, set you up with this guy, this printer, whatever.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? I want to do all my movies. I want to turn all my books into movies, as well as do some other people's books. Because this game is very expensive. It's not like books and publishing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's taking a couple of dollars, and you know, even the time to recoup the money is, you know, the ROI, the return of investment.
Of course,
it can be lengthy at times. So I just want to perfect my craft and just go down the road, just go down the line, producing my content.
Something you would tell your younger self.
Huh?
What's something you would tell your younger self?
I don't know, like,
maybe.
Man, I would tell, if I was something, it was one thing, I don't believe in this, but it was one thing I would tell my younger self, like, I would tell myself, my mother always told me, that your friends ain't your friends. That was one of the misused words in my vocabulary, friends and love, in the human history. And I had those type of parents, like, if they ain't buy that, don't bring that shit in here. Who bike is that? My friends. As soon as you finish eating, you take that shit right back to your friend's house. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes that I walked to school with, that I made it even fought for. Because it wasn't gangs, it was crews. I understand why people are attracted to gangs, because the streets are open 24/7. Schools ain't open 24/7. Streets is always open and embracing and loving you, but they don't give you the real. So I think I would tell myself, man, it's more about friendship. A lot of them dudes was fake, and then I really had genuine love for them, so I found out otherwise. When they up, it's something different. When you up, when I got up, When the kid from the back came to the forefront, oh, yo, we can go start bidding wars, or we can, nah, nigga, we not messing with them good white people, nah, we not. Because when the pieces of my career all fell down, I would be left to pick them up, and they would be gone, because this is not what they do.
When do you feel like that happened?
I didn't get to see people until until I got older. And when I got in a position, when I came to the forefront, nobody ever came and said, hey, Shannon.
No, my question is, when do you feel like your career started to decline?
When the decline of with the internet happened, everybody's career started to decline with the book sales. Yeah, Amazon put things out of business.
Wow.
Drugstores, mom and pop stores.
Yep.
Come on, Amazon. When a conglomerate comes together like the way we've never seen that, it was over. Because that mom and pop store can only stay open so long, right?
That's right.
Amazon's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you got Amazon Prime, you can have it tomorrow.
So that declined the book sales.
That declined the book sales. And it used to be a sprint. Now it's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's a war of attrition that everybody's not going to be able to, with the natural progression from books to film. Everybody's not going to be able to afford it. Like, I've had people try to give me, I've had deals. Carmelo Anthony, I just had that deal. And I thought that me and him would go a little further. That didn't happen. But I had deals way before. I had dudes try to backdoor me, try to get me to sign. And I look at it. I don't never look at a deal from the perspective of what I'm going to get now. I look at the deal, what's going to bring me later.
You sold the rights to all your books?
No. I still own them.
All of them?
Yeah.
So you still get residual?
I mean, it depends on the recruitment rate.
Yeah.
Some of them I do, some of them I don't.
Gotcha.
When you sign those big deals, bro,
Yeah.
I might not see it. My kids might see it, though.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? We might see what we going to see.
What's something that you want to leave the audience with? What's something that you would tell a young writer, somebody in jail, somebody that's giving up all hope, somebody that wants to be inspired, that needs to hear your story? What do you say?
Yo, I would say dare to believe, man. Dare to dream your dream, man. People didn't believe in me, and they not supposed to. I didn't understand that. It was my dream. When it's your dream, ain't supposed to believe in you. You gotta believe in you. And I just have the audacity. I had the audacity to sit on my bunk and say to myself, before I knew what an affirmation was, and write my name, sign my name over and over on a yellow legal tablet, and go down and say to myself, yo, one day I'm gonna be famous. One day I'm gonna be famous. One day, this signature is gonna mean something to somebody. And that's what, then I signed my name the way I watched my father sign checks for the bank. He write a big R and a big H. I signed my shit, big S and a big H. He probably don't know that, but he know it now, but you know.
This is Trappin Anonymous. My name is Chris Styles. Let's get it.